leg locks. You see all the stuff that we're doing in the instructionals.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see that systematic, like very technical approach spreading. You know, like you do see these very, very clear pathways that you guys choose, and then you see other people adopt those pathways too, and you see them follow the same things that John is teaching you guys. You see other people adopting that.
So for like ADCC, we have 8 qualifiers. So if you win the qualifier, you get to go to the World Championship. So we have North America, South America, Brazil, Europe, and Asia. The interesting thing to me is the North American trials have skyrocketed past the other regions, past Brazil, past Asia, and past Europe. And this was the first time I did the Brazil trials. Very tough, you know, it's a fighting culture, but they're lacking the wrestling and the leg lock. And if they don't adapt quickly, that gap between the North American athletes and everyone else is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
It's pretty crazy that Brazil, they rejected leg locks for so long that some of the really, really high-level black belts, like if you tap them with a leg lock, the crowd would throw shoes at you and boo at you.
It used to be viewed as a dirty technique, to be honest.
Which is so weird.
Well, the thing is it all comes down to technology. The people who have the most technology are going to ultimately win over, you know, X amount of years. So a big problem for Brazil is the best technology that they have access to, or that we have access to, is the instructional videos. Like if you can be anywhere in the world and buy a John Danaher video or a Gordon Ryan video and you can watch that, that in my opinion is the best technology that you have. The problem with Brazil is my instructionals are $250. That's 1,000 reais, and I have 20 of them. So you're really going to get someone in Brazil that's going to spend 20,000 reais, $20,000 for us on my instructionals. They don't have, a lot of people in Brazil don't have the financials to be able to purchase the technology. So that's going to make it harder for them to stay at the level that, you know, America, Europe, that we're operating at, because they just don't have access. A lot of them don't have access to the technology. Many of them do, but many of them don't. So it's going to be interesting in the next 10 years. It's like if you took 2 islands and you put nerds on one and you put jocks on the other, and you have them fight in the first 4 months, the nerds are going to get beat up. But then 2 years from now they have fucking spears. Now they have guns 5 years later, and then the meatheads are still just trying to throw rocks at the nerds.
Right.
So ultimately, technology is gonna prevail. So I think the big problem that Brazil is running into, and will run into, is they don't have as much readily accessible technology as America, for example. So I think in the next decade or so, it's going to be a competition between America and Europe, Russia. When it starts getting money pushed into the sport and it gets bigger, you get a guy who's been wrestling all his life, who's fucking grew up in the fucking middle of nowhere, Russia, who starts taking up jiu-jitsu at an early age, and he's wrestling. Like, that's going to be a problem.